Hey, today we've got news about the Arrowhead team winning 4 awards. Not only that, it seems the developers are finally testing out the Illuminate. The community manager updates us on the DSS, I'll show you how to use colored text in-game, and there's much more we'll be going over together. If you would like to support the channel, please hit the like button below at any point, and subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's check out the news about the Illuminate. So far, it appears the Arrowhead team has finally begun testing the Illuminate. There's a player on Reddit who discovered that the Helldivers 2 files on SteamDB have been updated recently, including a branch called Gameplay Illuminates. It was added just this morning. As you can tell, it says November 22nd. You can take this with a grain of salt, but I would say this suggests we're going to see the squid enemies sooner or later. Now, will it happen by the end of this year? Who knows, but this is amazing. It means we're getting closer to finally seeing them soon enough. There's been leak after leak about the Illuminate in the past, yet no one knew exactly when the Arrowhead team was going to add them into the game. But now it seems they are finally testing it out. Perhaps they would have done this 3 months ago, yet as you all know, the 60-day plan kicked in and they had to fix the game up quite a bit by buffing weapons, patching bugs, and improving stability on certain biomes. Now that it's all over, it seems that the developers can finally focus on the task at hand, and that's creating content. I know a lot of players are burnt out, they're tired of playing the same missions and fighting the same enemies, overall just waiting for new content to arrive. And I believe it's going to happen. We just have to give the developers enough time to properly cook up a hell of a patch. And I'm sure you all will be happy with the final results once it does drop. But again, as I've mentioned earlier, the Illuminate may not pop up this year. However, there is a good chance it could happen if the developers and the QA team can test everything out. Then it could be released anywhere from now or somewhere in the middle of December. Anywho, that's my best guess. What are your thoughts about the Illuminate so far? Are you excited? Are you not? Or are you skeptical about it? Let me know your overall thoughts on how you feel about the latest Illuminate news. Next, we have an update status on the Democracy Space Station. Recently, we just lost Lisseth, which is a damn shame, and a lot of players are just not happy about it. However, the good news is that the developers are going to tweak the Democracy Space Station voting system. The community manager, Twinbeard, posted a message on the official Helldivers 2 Discord and said this: "Am home taking care of son who's sick today, but just a brief response on the DSS targeting Lisseth. Feel free to circulate this info. Not being able to target planets is not a bug per se, but the targeting election system is a bit rough. We're already tweaking this, and in the near future we'll minimize, hopefully avoid entirely situations like these occurring. First and foremost, I am sending my best wishes for his son's swift recovery. It's not fun being sick and dealing with diabetes as well. It's not cool." Now, as for the Democracy Space Station news, that right there is awesome to know. I wonder if they're going to make it so that it can be moved more frequently. If so, that would be beneficial for us all when it comes down to liberating planets and stopping attacks from either the Automatons or the Terminids. I also think making the vote system percentages invisible until you cast your vote would be cool to see as well. So far, we also know that the Arrowhead team is going to be dropping more news about the Democracy Space Station soon enough, and this right here is a glimpse as to what they are planning on doing with it. I'm more interested in what they are going to do with the planetary bombardment instead, since it wasn't well received. It would be great for us all to see something about that and whatever else news they plan to drop soon. Moving along, we might see more frequent blogs written. It's been quite a while since we've seen a community update. For instance, the last one we had received was back in July, and it's now November. With that being said, there's a member of my Discord who went over to the official Helldivers 2 Discord and got a response from the community manager, Twinbeard. The conversation first started off when another member from the Helldivers 2 Discord made a comment about wanting more consistent communication. And Svarog responded to that player, basically implying that he would like to see the Arrowhead developers play a difficulty 10 operation, and he also wants to see the Arrowhead team write a blog once a month. The community manager Twinbeard saw this post and responded to him with this: "Haven't you heard, Svarog? No one reads anymore. Seriously though, a mix is a great thing when it comes to content, which is why we want to do a variety. We believe that today, if possible, you should provide a combination of written, recorded, and streamed content." Awesome, they are going to eventually drop written blogs and all that good stuff soon enough. After this was posted, there was a member that asked about streaming content soon. And Svarog mentioned that Twinbeard talked about streaming soon, but it was all vague. Twinbeard once again responded to him and wrote this in response: "Sorry for jumping in without being asked, but I can provide some more context. Not vague at all, it's just that we don't want to overpromise the streaming stuff. We're well on our way actually, and streams alongside blogs, vlogs, and recorded content are coming." That makes a lot of sense. The Arrowhead team doesn't want to promise a lot, therefore it's best for them to not overhype or overpromise the streaming content, blogs, and vlogs. All that stuff, right? I believe that's the best approach, take it one day at a time, and when all the content comes, we can then be excited about it. I know there's a lot of players that just want better communication, and I'm sure that will happen in due time, yet as of right now, we just need to have patience. So far, their setup looks crazy, and it's going to be fun to finally see the whole setup completed. Nonetheless, I'm excited for whatever plans that they have with their content, and things are going to get better as time goes on. I suspect we'll see a more polished game, better communication, and so much more. Remember that Arrowhead completed the 60-day plan somewhat recent, so now they can finally focus on content. With that said, if you love Helldivers 2, stay optimistic because I believe the Arrowhead team is coming back swinging with the punches. And they're going to drop stellar content, whether that's in-game content or content for streaming and blogs. Remember, patience is key here as the team works to deliver quality over quantity. Now, since I brought up the 60-day plan, the community manager also made a comment about it, talking about how there could be content this year and there might not be. This response was towards a player that asked for more clarity on content. We can see a response here where Twinbeard wrote this. 100% agree in terms of finding that middle ground to possibly split hairs a little. I think that's more a thing of good communication, information, PR, and community work though, rather than utilizing a roadmap per se. But we're having pretty much the same thing, so yes, 1-2. As you know, there's a delicate balance between being transparent and having a mouth that's too big for comfort. For now, I'll therefore go with we have some cool stuff coming up. Might be this year, might not be. We're past the 60-day plan and back to normal. As you can see, he mentioned that they're past the 60-day plan and everything is back on track when it comes to content creation. Now, with that said, there's been a lot of pessimism about the future of Helldivers 2, and I understand that completely. It hasn't been that great, but that's due to a few reasons like the 60-day plan, patching bugs, optimization, performance updates, and the summer vacation didn't help either. Yet the Arrowhead team seems to be back on track, so once again, give the team enough time and sure enough we'll see content and better communication as well. Okay, next up we have good news about Arrowhead. They have won 4 awards from the Joystick Awards, which is absolutely incredible and an amazing accomplishment for the entire team. They won Console Game of the Year, Best Multiplayer Game, Best Game Trailer, and lastly the Critics' Choice Award. To say the least, it's been rough for the entire Arrowhead team, yet I'm sure those awards have got to make them feel a lot better knowing that all the stress, sweat, blood, and tears are finally paying off. I think for us gamers out here, it's easy for us to judge a game when things are not looking too good. Since we're not coding, we're not creating content for the game, and we just don't know the process really. Arrowhead is a decently small studio with around 150 employees. It's not like they are a AAA studio, so they cannot just pump out content super fast like most studios can. I try to stay optimistic on this channel, but if I need to, I'll express what I don't like because genuinely, I prefer to be honest when things are not looking so great. And I also prefer to tell you all what I do like. Anyway, you get the point. I'm happy to see the team won those awards, and I think they definitely deserve it. And cheers to everyone at Arrowhead for such a big win. Alright, how about we now talk about a cool little trick that you could do in game, and that's creating colored text. This can be done on console, yet it might take a little longer since you have to use your controller to type the messages out. But you can of course use a keyboard. Nonetheless, let's see how you can do this right here. You can see in the chat below that I have a message that says cheers with colored text. If you would like to do this, all you have to do is type down the code on screen in the chat below, and it can be done both on PC and console. For instance, you'll want to type out the less than symbol, then C equal, and here you'll want to type out the hex color code. You can simply figure out the code by typing color picker on Google, and you can see the hex code and type that out after the equal symbol. Then after you have done that, then type the greater than symbol. Now that we have this set up, we can then fill in our text or whatever you want to say in the chat. After you have done so, type out the less than symbol /C, and lastly, you want to type down the greater than symbol. Once you have done that, you are done, and you can send the text message. It will now pop up in the chat colored, and you can do that with a variety of different colors. I wasn't aware of this, so all credit to a player on Reddit for showing everyone how to do this. Speaking of tips and tricks, I do have an Eruptor trick for you all that are fans of the Eruptor. I'm not too sure how many of you are aware of this, yet if you land on a bot planet, you can use your Eruptor to blow up gunships easily with just one shot. The only thing is you will want to aim for the engines and be mindful of the projectile speed. I like to aim a little bit further to the left or right of the gunship so by the time the projectile is sent out, it will hit the engines. Otherwise, if you're not patient enough, you'll end up shooting way too early, and that will cause you to miss your shot, or you'll just hit the main part of the gunship. But as you can see, it's quite useful on gunships, rocket striders, devastators, and so much more. If you didn't know, then give it a try the next time you land on a bot planet. Recently, I've seen comments in the community regarding our feedback and whether or not the community managers actually listen and send in our feedback. The support team member B Vitamin has confirmed they do listen to our feedback. The post can be seen here, and she wrote this. The CMs do pass on the feedback. They make sure the developers know what the players are talking about, what their complaints are, etc. The players are being heard, but good changes don't come right away. I think it would be ridiculous to think that they don't listen to us. So far, the community managers have done a great job responding and making sure we're all heard. Not to mention, they also have been posting survey links for us to fill out, and those feedback forms we do fill out, the Arrowhead team does look at. And they've been responding back pretty well so far. Hope that clears up any confusion, and just know your feedback is being heard, it just takes time. Lastly, for today's video, it's now time to talk about your suggested loadouts and what you all prefer to use. As always, if you have posted a loadout prior, then post your comment again, and I might select it. Speaking of which, we have a subscriber that posted this loadout and has been trying to get featured on the channel for quite some time. And now it's time to go over it. We have a loadout called the Patriot Mech Jockey by a subscriber named the ADK74U. We've got the newest Reprimand SMG, and it's the only SMG with medium armor penetration. It's quite strong on hive guards, commanders, and useful on smaller bugs as well. The secondary is the Verdict, which is another strong penetrating weapon that is also good when used on commanders and hive guards. Not only that, we've got a light armor type with the engineering passive to give us more grenades. We're using stun grenades to stun chargers and enemies in general, while the rocket and galley sentry do all the work. You can also pair this together nicely with the Patriot exosuit that was also recommended. Lastly, for stratagems, we have the supply pack to refill our Reprimand, Verdict, and the grenades when low. This is another loadout that I don't have any negative feedback on. You all have been posting some crazy suggestions, and they are so far amazing and powerful to use. This one right here deserves a 5 out of 5 John Helldiver medals. With all the information being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. We're now going to check out the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured, all you have to do is post your comment down below, and I might just feature it. The first top comment is by Ravens and Flies 8167. I know I've never seen a dev because I play only 6 and above. So yeah, a lot of you guys out there think the developers only play on lower difficulties, which might be the case, but who knows, maybe one of these days they'll play on difficulty 10 and we'll see how good they truly are. The second comment is by Democracy E710. I'm still waiting patiently for a minigun stratagem. With that said, hopefully at some point we'll receive more support stratagems. I'm a big fan of it, so if they threw in a minigun, I'd be absolutely ecstatic about it, but hey, let me know what you think about that. And last but not least, we have King Ginger 3335 in a game about mercilessly killing as many bugs as possible. The developers have experienced many of their own bugs and are constantly fighting to kill those as well. Very meta. Speaking of this, today for some reason I have experienced at least 2 crashes and I had to swap out my armors and like different types of weapons to stop it. I'm not too sure what that's about, but yeah, I definitely agree. There is a lot of bugs and hopefully they do patch those suckers as soon as possible. So those are the top 3 comments. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel, coming by each time to subscribe, comment, or do whatever. But hopefully you will give this video a like and also subscribe with those notifications turned on. And yeah, dude, I truly appreciate you guys out there that do that. It means a lot to me, and it will always mean a lot to me because I wouldn't be able to do this without your support. And you guys are truly just awesome people, man. Seriously, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.